Hi traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Tuesday, the 5th of September. So we've had some developments overnight. We can see that the US dollar still remains a strong currency. That's something that we looked into yesterday with the likes of Euro US dollar. I actually got into a position on Euro US dollar, so I'm going to talk you through that current position. I'm also going to go over a couple of other charts involved with the US dollar today, including the Australian dollar versus the US dollar and the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar. We've also seen the Swiss franc come back to the strong side of the table, so we're going to be taking a look at an old friend of ours, Aussie Swiss, which we did really well on a couple of say probably about a month ago, and Kiwi Swiss is also on that. Now, we did get some Australian dollar data overnight. It was the RBA rate statement and cash rate decision. They held interest rates at 4.1%, which has helped cause this or fuel this downward move in the market, as participants are now expecting rates to be sort of or the tightening cycle essentially to end here, and we're starting to see that downside pressure on the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar as well. We also had some Euro PMI data today, which was below forecast, which has helped fuel a little bit of a Euro decline as well. Now, Euro was originally on the tables, since has moved away. I've just been managing the position, so apologies for the lateness of this particular video, but I've just been managing that Euro dollar trade. I'm actually going to take you over to Euro dollar first, and we'll just discuss how I entered the market, why I entered the market, and what I was looking for in particular. Now, we were looking yesterday at the hourly chart, and we were looking at this 1.0820 level. In here, there was a couple of confluences around that point. We had the 200 daily moving average, we had the 50 moving average running through there on this hourly chart. We also had a Fibonacci extension at that point. I just want to bring your attention back to that Fibonacci extension there. You can see that we actually came very, very shy of the 38.2. It was actually the other way around that I did it, just to project those potential fib projections out there. You can see the 127.2 coming in there. We came very, very close to the 618 area, so this was the reason why we were eyeing up at that zone in particular. Now, what I did was I just kept my eye on this market. We knew that we wanted to be short in it, but it was the how do we get involved with it essentially. So what I was particularly looking for was a sort of pull back into an area and then looking at the opportunity to trade. Now, I went to the 30-minute time frame. Now, this is where I did my sort of looking into it, and I was basically watching how the highs performed, because obviously if the market is in a bullish phase, we should see higher highs enter the market, and what we didn't see was those higher highs continue. In fact, we had a bit of a double top pattern going on there. So when we had the double top pattern, this is actually where I entered into the market. I'm currently up, let me just bring in my trading terminal, currently up 53 pips on this move. My stop loss is now at break even, so if I just show you that here, that's what I'm looking at there. So price is still pushing to the downside, still happy to hold this one, coming very, very close to targets actually. So I'll probably see how this continues to perform, but basically just keeping my eye on that market at the moment to see if there's any kind of continuation to the downside there. So euro dollar performing very, very well at the moment. We'll see if that can continue to go. I'd like it, obviously, if it can hit targets today, that would be fantastic. Going on to the other charts of interest then. So obviously we're going to go take a look at Aussie US dollar first. Aussie US dollar, the top of the day traders, second technically on the trend traders. But yeah, looking to see if this market will continue to push to the downside. Last week we had a bullish move back into the 0.65 lows. We rejected that. This week we're starting to see a little bit of a follow through. Now, the next level of support I've got marked in is the 0 spot 63 handle. If we were to trade below that, we've got the 0 spot 62 handle to deal with. Now, going down to the daily time frame, you can see how aggressive today has been. You can see on our ATRs, we're above ATRs at the moment. So this move in here might be something that's quite hard to jump on right now. What we may have to do is wait for today to close and then look at more in tomorrow's trading day. Is there an opportunity for us as long as we remain on the tables? Now, that opportunity might come if we go to our lower time frames. Now, you can see how aggressive price has moved away from the 50 moving average at the moment. So for us to trade at the 50 might be a little bit difficult to do. We might have to look at some alternative options. Now, we did get a breakout of a trend line here, which is nice. I like the idea of price retesting that because, again, the 50 moving average running through there on the hourly could be a good opportunity. However, we might not get that. You can see here that we have a build-up of lows around about the 0 spot 64 handle in and around this zone here. So price may get stuck around there. What ideally I would like to see, maybe overnight in the Asia session, we get a very slow pullback, a very kind of low retracement, very similar to what we get there. If we do and we come back into that zone, and then in the European session we're around this area tomorrow, that could be a good opportunity to see that market move lower. Now, obviously, it's an Aussie US dollar pair, so they are most volatile overnight because, you know, they are in the Asia time zone. So, you know, we have to be aware of that, and that it may move overnight without us. But setting an alerts here could be something good around about the 0 spot 64. Very similar to Kiwi US dollar as well, considering the fact that Kiwi's just kind of followed this move down from the Australian dollar news. We've traded through a trendline support. We traded through the 0 spot 61. We've traded through the 0 spot 6 handle, and this market just continues to fall away. We are coming into bearish channel support. That was, you know, held up a couple of weeks ago. Market is now breaking through that and breaking down through that level. So, like we said, the New Zealand dollar has potential to go to the 0 spot 55.50 again. It's how do we get an entry into this market again? So price has traded lower. Again, you can kind of see this almost range developing there. And then price has traded through that range. So, you know, I do have another level pointed in at 0 spot 58.50, but that's just a minor level, which comes from this low that formed back in the 10th of November 2022. So it might only be just a short-term area where price finds some support. Just going to get rid of that for a second because you can see this consolidation a bit more in detail on the 4-hour time frame. It just might be now that we are starting to see that sort of continuation move now of that sort of bigger time frame trend. Again, you can see the market kind of forms a bit of a double top there. We've traded through that level. This one has a nice zone kind of running through it around about the 0 spot 59.30, where you've got kind of these highs and lows coming in as well. Again, the 50 moving average running through there as well. That would require a bit of a deeper retracement. If I was to look at it from a fib, it's a 38.2 fib from the highs, but if we were kind of going from the previous sort of swing high that formed, you know, it's a 61.8 and beyond pullback. That's quite a deep retracement. It's not necessarily something you want to see when a market has momentum on its side. So again, we're going to have to kind of maybe set our sights a little bit lower on this one, perhaps into the swing lows that price has recently traded through that 0 spot 59 for any kind of opportunity there. Going on to Aussie Swiss then. So actually log Aussie Swiss a lot. If we look at it from a sort of bearish point of view and a higher time frame, if we look at it from the weekly, for instance, yeah, we've been in this long-term downward trend here. Looks like we're coming back into that potential phase where we could see an extension down. 0 spot 55 is the sort of major low that we have available to us. I was expecting to move back up to the 0 spot 59. We just haven't had it. Again, kind of showing us how weak this market is. Going on to the daily time frame, then you can start to picture like we had a little bit of a bounce. We had a short-term pullback into this consolidation zone around about the 0 spot 57.40s. Going down even further, you can see I've put this little bullish channel in. Price has traded outside of that bullish channel now, and is continuing to the downside. So is this going to be a point that we look at for potential opportunities? Again, I think it's more going into tomorrow's session rather than today's session, because of how price has already moved. But again, I'd like to see some kind of retracement. You know, you've got the 57 hand, 0 spot 57, which is just up through here. Again, that's kind of like a bearish channel resistance retest. But, you know, for price to do that, it's got to rally 40 pips. So we need to be aware that that could not happen. We've got all these lows in here as well, around about the 0 spot 56.75. So, again, I think looking at this chart in particular, it's going to be having to look at it tomorrow, I think, and see where we can position ourselves then. But at the moment, still in euro dollar short, just keeping my eye on it. The last close was okay. It just kind of closes an inside candlestick though, so maybe some indecision starting to form around about the levels that we're at. I think if I get a bullish close on this hourly now, I'd be looking to manage that position. I mean, stops are at break even anyway, but I would like to walk away with some profits for the start of the month. So I will keep you up to date on that one, and yeah, I will catch you in the next video.